20 Annual General Meeting of the Institute, as you were informed. And with you, speaking to you now, is Goreti Masade, the new CEO of the Institute. We would like to be 80 members by the time we start the AGM, and at the moment we are at 58 members. And so we request you kindly to inform all your friends, all your fellow members that are out there to log on with us. We formed a WhatsApp group for all the paid up members, and so we request you to check the group. If you have challenges, inform us so that we make sure that everybody is online. I requested that you give us a few minutes, about 8 more minutes from now, we should be able. Thank you. Our friends online, as we wait to start, I would just like to introduce the people that we have in the room. And I would like to start with the representative of our guest of honor, the representative of our patron, the Governor Bank of Uganda. We would like to introduce Mrs. Mary Katarikawe, who is in the room with us. Thank you very much for joining us. We'd like to introduce the chairman, Mr. Matthias Katamba, who is in the room with us. You're going to see him a lot. I'd like to see you, Bank Limited, DFCU Limited. I would like to introduce Mr. Richard Ola from UDBL. Richard is on our board. Mr. Sam Tulume, NCBA, Uganda. He's been on the council. Mr. Paul Senyomo from Mercantile Credit Bank. He's on the board. Mr. Louis Kase. Dr. Louis Kasekende from Finance Trust Bank. This one, we agreed that the name is very difficult. From Guarantee Trust Bank, Irevisen. I think I got it right. Thank you for joining us. He's representing Mr. Lekan Sanusi, who is on the council. Mr. Edgar Biama from KCB Bank. Mr. Gasta Kayinja from Bank of Uganda, Mr. Shafi Nambovi, Ugaford, coming on the board, Mr. Isa Chizito, who is a consultant, is with us, Ms. Veronica Namagembe from Pride Microfinance, who's been on the board. We also have Mr. Anthony Mulindo, who is my big brother, former CEO of the Institute. Those are the people we have in the room at the moment. Oh, we have somebody who hasn't registered, very important member of the board, Mr. Clement Odo. Thank you. Thank you very much, Clement. Those are the people that we have in the room, and I think I'm going to request the chair that in the next, we now have 70 people online, and I think we're starting soon. Oh, Mr. Wilbrod Owor, who is online, is a board member. And I believe we have Mr. Julius Kaketo, who is the council president, outgoing council president, and the MD of Postbank. Oh, we have Mr. Charity Mugumya from Bank of Uganda is also here with us. Oh, my apologies. I think you did. Let's make sure.
So good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Institute here present and online. We're now going to start our AGM. My name is Matthias Katamba. I would now like to invite the CEO, Mrs. Goretti Masade, to lead us in a prayer.
Thank you, Chair. Let's humble ourselves as we pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you very much for this very beautiful moment. We thank you, Lord, for the Institute and its life to date. Father, we thank you very much for the lives of the people in this room, our council, our board. We thank you very much for the people that are online, our members. Father, we lift this very important meeting in your hands. We pray that everything we discuss may be insightful and that it may be positive in the growth and progress of the Institute and its members. Lord, we lift the very special circumstances that we are in this moment, affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, a situation that is affecting our very own existence, our business, and our direct customers. Father, we pray that we may prevail in each and everything. We also pray that the Institute may come to bear to provide the required services in these very special circumstances. Lord, I lift the chairman into your hands as he leads us into this, throughout this meeting. And I pray that we are able to do everything that we are supposed to do virtually. We pray all this through Jesus' name, Allah, and all. Amen. Thank you.
If you go too far, you can usually get yourself into a pickle. But you have to find a way to climb out. So, dear patron, first of all, thank you very much for having graced the occasion today. We always are very grateful when you are able to make it. That is what has always made our AGMs special. Council members here present, fellows, associates, ordinary and student members, I wish to welcome you all to this unique 2020 annual general meeting of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, the first ever scientific, or if you like, virtual meeting of the Institute. Tells how much the times have changed. Please take time to consider the notice and agenda of this meeting as set out hereunder. I wish to take this opportunity to thank our patron for gracing this occasion with her presence here today, Mrs. Mary Katarika, representing the Governor, Bank of Uganda. I wish to take this opportunity to thank all of you as well, but in a special way to thank the patron for the support rendered to the Institute and the cause of promoting professionalism and inclusion in the financial services industry. I wish to recognize chief executives of member institutions and colleagues from the industry here present and online, and thank them for their contribution to the Institute. I am also especially grateful to the Board of Directors for its dedicated service to the Institute. I thank members of the Institute for their contribution to the life of the Institute, without which the Institute would not have been able to execute its mandate. In a special way, I want to thank directors with whom I have served for the last 3 years as chair of the Institute. I extend my gratitude to our development partners, our legal counsel, external auditors, and indeed all our service providers for their contribution to the progress of the Institute. These are not easy times to run an academic institute or an institution of excellence as ours is. Therefore, last but not least, I would like to thank our trainers and staff of the Institute for their dedicated service to the Institute. Thank you all, and thank you very much. At this point, I would like to introduce the company secretary to confirm quorum before we proceed with the business of the annual general meeting and to take us through the next session. So I believe the company secretary will join us virtually. So this is a little note to invite the company secretary to unmute their microphone in case they did not hear and join us virtually. I'm informed she's unmuted. So she should be popping up on your screens any moment from now.
Under the Article 35. Article 35 of the Constitution, 40% of the paid-up members present and in person shall form quorum. As at today, we have 276 paid-up members. Can they hear me? They can't hear me.
Okay, I believe the secretary has confirmed that we have quorum. So if it's okay, I will then proceed. You will all have received copies of the documents for this AGM, which I believe that you either have in hard copy or have been sent to your emails, including notices, etc., over a period before this meeting. The next item is adoption of the notice and agenda of the meeting and minutes confirmation. So I'll start with the adoption of the notice. The notice convening this annual general meeting and the agenda were duly circulated to all members. The notice and the agenda appear on pages 2 to 5 of our annual report, which is in your possession. With your approval, members, I propose that the notice and agenda on page 2 to page 5 of the annual report be adopted as circulated. I would like to invite a member to second the proposal of adoption of the agenda. Any member, please? Mr. Gasta Kainja there from Bank of Uganda. Thank you very much for the secondment. Thank you. Minutes confirmation. Minutes of the last annual general meeting were duly circulated to all members. Action points, if any, shall be addressed under the board report, which will be presented to you shortly and in the course of the proceedings of this meeting. With your approval, members, I propose that the minutes of the AGM for the year ended 31st December 2018 as circulated be adopted. I'd like to seek a member to second the proposal of adoption of the minutes, please. By show of hands. Thank you very much, Mr. Edgar Biama from KCB. I'd now like to move on to presentation of the board report. Colleagues and members, at this virtual AGM, it is a key recognition of the times that we find ourselves in. Today, we find ourselves in an unprecedented time where we are unable to meet physically, and our way of life, of business and business have been disrupted by the pandemic and its effects. In the board meeting held on June 11th, 2020, the board, with the advice of the company secretary, S&L, agreed to have a virtual AGM to ensure continuity of the Institute's business that would be dependent on the AGM. As provided by law, a court order allowing the Institute to convene the virtual AGM by electronic means was obtained. We are grateful for the opportunity to meet despite the prevailing conditions and restrictions and circumstances. I'll now give you a brief update on the status of the Institute. On a good note, I wish to inform the AGM that while the Institute's training activities have been gravely affected by the effects of the pandemic, the Institute has continued to operate with support from members through their contributions. Furthermore, the management of the Institute has embarked on migrating face-to-face training programs to the existing e-learning platform and continues to engage and train both trainers and students to embrace the new approach. The Institute is also pursuing strategic partnerships to introduce courses that respond to the current dynamics, for example, digital banking and related courses, as well as finding ways to reduce the per capita cost of training. With this background, I urge the industry to embrace and engage the Institute on desired solutions to ensure we undertake the much needed skilling, reskilling, and retooling at this critical moment of disruption. In this regard, I thank the members and management of the Institute for your continued support and efforts towards the Institute's continuity during this time. I want to talk about governance matters at this point. At the close of the previous AGM on June 21st, 2019, the Institute had a 10-member board of directors comprised of the following members. There were representatives from the interests representing banks and bank interests, myself, Matthias Katamba, MD of DFCU Bank as board chairman, Mr. Johnson Agoreo, the managing director of United Bank for Africa as a director, Mr. Clement Dodo, the managing director of EcoBank Uganda, who was also on the board, Mr. Rakesh Jha, who at the time was the managing director of Barclays Bank of Uganda, now ABSA, and Mr. Wilbrod Humphrey Owuor, the executive director of the Uganda Bankers Association. Representing microfinance deposit taking institutions, we had Ms. Veronica Namagembe, who was also a director. Representing fellows and honorary fellows was Mr. Joram Kahenano, a retired bank executive, who was also my deputy chairman. very effective deputy chairman. Representing the interest of credit institutions was Mr. Paul Senyomo, Managing Director of Mercantile Credit Bank, who is also here as a director. And representing the interests of the central bank, Mr. Elliot Mwebia, who was Director of ICT at the time. Representing the interests of the rest of the members of the institute, Mr. Richard Ola Odria, Manager Credit and Portfolio Management at the Uganda Development Bank, who is here also at the moment. We also had an ex-official member of the board, who was the chief executive of the institute at the time, Mr. Anthony Mulindwa, who is here, and another ex-official, Mr. Alex Simbwa, who was the executive director of the institute at the time. In the course of 2019, the board convened 3 times and maintained 3 committees, namely the Audit and Risk Committee, Finance and Human Resources, and the Education and Membership Committee. Each of the board committees convened at least 3 times during the year. On behalf of the board of directors, I wish to renew the board's commitment to serve the institute to the best levels possible. I now want to talk about change of board members. I wish to inform the AGM that 4 of the members of the board completed their second and last term as board members on 30th June 2020 and are therefore due for replacement at this AGM. These members include myself, Matthias Katamba, the board chairman, Mr. Joram Kahenano, the deputy chairman, Ms. Veronica Namagembe, and Mr. Elliot Mwebia. On behalf of the members of the Institute and on my own behalf, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to the outgoing board members for the commitment and invaluable contribution towards the progress and achievements of the Institute. I also wish to thank the Institute's members for the confidence and opportunity given to us to serve you for the 2 terms. With regard to the board, please note the following. We have 1 vacant position for representative of the central bank, 1 vacant position for microfinance deposit-taking institutions, 2 vacant positions for representatives of fellows and honorary fellows, and 2 vacant positions for representatives of the banks. Nominees for all the vacant board positions have been received and will be presented to this AGM for election and appointment as follows. Representing the Central Bank, the Bank of Uganda, is Ms. Charity Mugumya. Ms. Charity Mugumya is the Director of Communications at Bank of Uganda, a position she has held for a number of years, since 2018. Prior to this, she worked in the Information Technology Department of Bank of Uganda. The next nominee is a representative of microfinance deposit-taking institutions on the board of the Institute, Mr. Shafi Nambovi. Mr. Nambovi is the Chief Executive Officer of Ugaford Microfinance MDI. He began his career as credit officer at Finca Uganda in 1997 before assuming positions of credit supervisor, branch manager in 2001, becoming regional manager between 2002 and 2006. Mr. Nambovi was the Deputy Operations Manager in charge of village banking and later supervision, policy compliance, and managing special projects. In April 2006, he moved to Uganda Finance Trust as the Chief Operations Manager, a position he held up to April 2009, when he moved on to become Chief Operating Officer for Finca Malawi for 2 years. He then joined Tujijenge, Tanzania, under the AMSCO program of the United Nations as a manager on secondment, as managing director and board member from April 2011 to December 2015, a period when he made tremendous progress for that institution in Tanzania. He then joined Premier Credit Uganda as a chief executive officer and a board member before joining Ugaford Microfinance Limited, where he's currently the managing director. Representing fellows and honorary fellows of the institute, on the institute's board, Dr. Louis Kasekende. Dr. Kasekende has a vast experience in banking, covering and spanning over 30 years. From 1988 until 1994, he worked as a part-time lecturer at Makerere University. He later joined the Bank of Uganda in 1986 and served in various capacities, including Director of Research, Executive Director of Research and Policy, and served as Deputy Governor between 1999 and 2002. Between 2002 and 2004, Dr. Kasekende was seconded to the World Bank by the Uganda government to serve as the Executive Director to the World Bank, representing 22 African countries, including Uganda, on the bank's executive board. From May 2006 to 2009, he served as the chief economist of the African Development Bank in Tunis, in Tunisia. As the chief economist, he was the bank's spokesperson on social, economic, and development issues of importance for Africa. He supervised the Development Research Department, the Statistics Department, and the African Development Institute. During his tenure, he's accredited for playing a leading role in African Development Bank's efforts to help African economies withstand the impact of the global financial crisis. In January 2010, he was reappointed as Deputy Governor of Bank of Uganda, a position he held until January 2020. The second representative of fellows and honorary fellows on the Institute's board is Mr. George Ochom. Mr. Ochom has over 24 years experience in treasury management, gained through working as at a senior level in Stanbic Bank Uganda, Global Markets and Chief Manager Treasury in Centenary Bank. He started his banking career in the then ANZ Greenlays Bank, which later became Stanbic Bank Uganda. He is the General Manager of DFCU Limited, a position he has held since March 22, 2018. He is also a certified professional banker, an associate of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services. He's an accredited dealer and an accredited trainer of trainers in microfinance. And finally, nominees or representatives of banks to the UIBFS board. Mr. Michael Mugabe. Michael is a Ugandan lawyer and corporate executive who serves as the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Housing Finance Bank. Prior to his present position, Mr. Mugabe was an Executive Director at Housing Finance Bank. He also served as Director of Operations at the bank. Before that, he was the Company Secretary and Head of Legal Services at the bank. He also previously served as Head Human Resources at the bank. He's the Fellow of the Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of the United Kingdom. And finally, Mr. Samuel Kirubi. Mr. Kirubi is the Managing Director of Equity Bank Uganda Limited. Since joining Equity Bank in 2001, he has gained vast experience in operations, marketing, and customer service. He was previously the Chief Operations Officer in Equity Bank South Sudan, and most recently, the Managing Director of Equity Bank in Rwanda. I now want to talk about the Council. At the close of the previous AGM, the Institute had 12 Council members comprised as follows. Mr. Julius Kaketo, the Managing Director of Orient Bank at the time, now the MD of Postbank. Mr. AJ Kumar Panth, Managing Director of the Bank of India. Mr. Sam Mtulume, who was the Managing Director of NC Bank at the time, now the Executive Director of NCBA. And Mr. Dennis Kaketo, who was the acting MD of Tropical Bank at the time. Mr. Jesse Timbwa, who was the acting Managing Director of ABC Capital Bank at the time, and Mr. Edgar Biama, who was the Managing Director acting at the time of KCB Uganda Limited, now the MD of KCB, of course. Representing honorary fellows and fellows was Mr. Henry Chivirige, who was a member, Mr. Paul Jembres, who was a member, and Mr. Gasta Kainja, who was also a member. And representing microfinance deposit institutions, Mr. James Onyuta, the MD of Finca Uganda, who is also here. Representing the Central Bank was Mrs. Mary Katarikawe, who was Executive Director Operations at the time, also serving as the Deputy President of the Council. Of course, represented well today as our patron. And associate members representing the rest of the members, we have Mr. Abraham Titre, who is also a member. And ex-officials were myself, Matthias Katamba, the board chairman, and Mr. Anthony Mlindwa, who is present here today, who was the CEO at the time. With regard to the council, I wish to note as follows. We have 4 vacant positions for representatives of banks, 1 for fellows and honorary fellows, and 1 for credit institutions. Nominees for the 4 vacant positions for representatives of banks have been received and are to be presented to this AGM for election and appointment as follows. 1, Mr. Tinei Mawocha. Mr. Mawocha is the Chief Executive Officer of Opportunity Bank Uganda Limited. These are representatives of banks. He began his career as a junior assistant food and beverages manager and rose to resident manager, deputy general manager in Zimsam's 5-star city hotel in 1990 to 1994. From July 1994 to December 1994, he was the unit general manager of Zimbabwe Sun Hotels. From 1995 to 1997, he took over as managing director of Nando's Zimbabwe. From January 1998 to August 1998, he was the regional developments director for Nando's in South Africa, and later the chief executive officer from 1998 to 2000. He was a consultant at TA Holdings and went on to become area manager of Standard Bank South Africa from August 2001 to December 2002. So then he made his transition into banking. Between 2003 and 2005, he was the director, branch, network of Standard Bank in South Africa. He was chairman of SADC Banking Association from May 2009 to March 2012. From December 2005 to October 2012, he was the chief executive officer of Standard Bank Swaziland. And from October 2012 to December 2013, he was the managing director of Tetrad Investment Bank. From January 2014 to March 2014, he was the managing director of Afresa Bank Zimbabwe, and thereafter the chief executive officer of Rwego Opportunity Bank Rwanda from April 2004 to September 2016. He then became the chief executive and director of Opportunity Bank from October 2016 to present. The next representative, Mr. Sanusi Lekan. Mr. Lekan is the managing director of Guarantee Trust Bank, or known well as GT Bank. Prior to his appointment as managing director of GT Bank Uganda, he was the managing director of GT Bank Ghana, having assumed that capacity in January 2012 and led the bank's growth, especially in the area of technology and banking innovation. The third representative is Mr. Fabian Kasi. Mr. Kasi is the managing director and chief executive officer of Centenary Bank, which position he has held since August 2010. He's a fellow of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants of the United Kingdom and a member of the Association of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda. He's a member of the Rotary Club of Chiwatuli, of which he's a Paul Harris Fellow. He has worked at Uganda, a number of organizations, including British American Tobacco Uganda, Shell Uganda Limited, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Macquarie University, University of Newcastle, Australia, Bank of Uganda, and the Commercial Bank of Rwanda. He started his career as a banking officer at Bank of Uganda in 1992. After 8 years at BOU, he briefly worked as a director of finance and administration at Finca Uganda before heading out to Rwanda's Bank Commercial de Rwanda, BCR, as the chief finance officer. After 9 months in Rwanda, he was appointed as executive director of Finca Uganda, serving there from 2002 until 2010. In August 2010, he was then appointed as the managing director and chief executive of Centenary Bank, where he is currently serving. The next representative on the council is Ms. Anne Nakaunde. Ms. Nakaunde is the chief executive officer of Uganda Finance Trust Bank. She started out at Prime Microfinance Limited and later moved to Nile Bank Limited before joining Finance Trust Bank. At Finance Trust, she worked in different capacities, including operations and compliance manager, and later head of operations. On 3rd April 2012, she was appointed as managing director and CEO of what was still known then as Uganda Finance Trust. When the Bank of Uganda granted the Finance Trust a full commercial banking license, she became the second woman in the banking history of Uganda to rise to the rank of CEO at a commercial bank in Uganda. The Women's World Banking Network in New York recognized her as the Financial Woman of the Year in 2008. She has a strong track record of leadership and innovation, which she further enhanced through leadership training at the Wharton Business School in the US, among other trainings. I now want to talk a bit about the amendment of the UIBFS Memorandum and Articles of Association. In light of the new conditions and trends, the board agreed to amend the Institute's Memorandum and Articles of Association to allow for virtual business. In addition, the amendment will carry membership structure changes considered and approved by the board once this AGM approves them. I would now like to talk about the financial performance, the training activities, and other areas of the Institute. The Institute registered a 2% decline in revenues in 2019 as compared to 2018, reducing from 2.18 billion in 2018 to 2.15 billion in 2019. This was mainly due to a reduction in other income, which in 2018 was boosted by our hosting of the East African Banking School. Overall, the Institute registered a deficit of 118 million in 2019 as compared to the 2018 deficit of 34 million. This was due to the reduction in revenue as well as the derecognition of deferred tax from the balance sheet to the income statement, which will be shared in the financial report. Training activities. Let me start by talking about student enrollment and performance. The total enrollment for the Institute courses during 2019 stood at 2,744, representing a growth in absolute terms of 370 or 16% when compared to 2018. Of these, 2,433 or 88% enrolled on short skill courses and 311 undertook professional and postgraduate programs, an indication of the industry's growing inclination towards targeted programs. The average pass rate on professional programs stood at 88.5%, a slight decline when compared to 2018 at 89%. The Institute also offers a Master's and Master of Account, MA in Financial Services under the auspices of Makerere University. And during 2019, this program registered a total of 33 students. At the 9th graduation ceremony of the Institute, we were to host the 9th graduation ceremony of the Institute on 24th April, but this ceremony was postponed indefinitely due to the COVID-19 pandemic that led to a lockdown of all activities of training institutions. As you know, these activities are still not yet open up to now. So programs introduced or reviewed during the period. During the course of 2019, the Institute introduced and extensively reviewed a number of training programs. To highlight some of the notable ones was the revised professional programs, including the Chartered Banker Program, the Diploma in Microfinance, Certified Professional Banker, and Banking Certificate. These programs have been submitted to the Ugandan National Council of Higher Education for accreditation. The introduction and development of short courses in areas like IFRS 16, the leasing standard, regulations and market practices for capital markets, auditing methodology, combating financial crime, case management, turnaround strategy, negotiation skills, stakeholder management and engagement skills, introduction to financial services sector, procurement management, ethics and professionalism in financial services, mindset change and leadership, and effective selling skills, among others. I'm glad to inform you that having mainstreamed e-learning as a mode of delivering its training programs, the Institute now offers a blend comprising a mix of face-to-face and e-learning. The following programs have been loaded on the platform: a certified credit management, chartered banker level 1, certified professional banker, banking certificate, and diploma in microfinance, basic banking, banking for non-bank executives, appraisal of agribusiness, and agricultural value chain financing. The Institute has also developed capacity to deliver all short course and programs online. Let me now turn to partnerships and activities in other jurisdictions. The Institute continues to conduct professional courses in Kigali, Rwanda, with a total of 20 bankers sponsored by the Rwanda Bankers Association during the period being trained annually. The Institute continues to maintain collaborations with renowned entities to offer a range of programs to the industry. These include the Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment for the conduct of programs in the area of capital markets operations, the ACI FMA, the conduct of treasury-related financial markets programs, as well as being a local testing center for these courses at over 150 students, and over 150 students have been tested since inception. The Frankfurt School of Finance and Management for the conduct of specialized courses in areas such as SME, digital, and climate finance, as well as being a local testing center for these courses. The London Institute of Banking and Finance, formerly the Chartered Institute of Bankers in London, whose professional programs have been mapped against those of the Institute and now attract up to 50% in exemptions. Other short programs are now on offer and include, among others, leadership crisis management, digital financial solutions, executive level. Planned this list of partners to include names such as the General Council of Islamic Banks and Financial Institutions, CIBFI for Islamic Courses Certification, and the Corporate Finance Institute of Canada in offering certification programs in financial modeling and valuation, especially for analysts. Let me talk about the academic board, the Senate. The board sitting of 22nd November 2019, the board resolved to establish the academic board or Senate under the University and Other Tertiary Institutions Act 2001. The Senate is comprised of 25 of the Institute's key stakeholders and will handle technical aspects related to training on an ongoing basis. It will be responsible for advising the board on matters relating to teaching, training, program development, research, consultancy, and related activities. The Senate will play an important advisory role in the governance of the Institute by linking the Institute's board, management, and the broader financial services sector. I'm glad to report that the nomination process for work was completed last month, and the Senate is now constituted. In terms of membership activities, first I'll talk about corporate and individual members. The Institute is a membership body comprised of two broad categories, that is corporate members being regulated financial institutions or SFIs, and individual members ranked variously as fellows, associates, students, and ordinary members. As at the close of 2019, the number of corporate members stood at 32 and that of individual members 966. In 2019, a total of 14 accolades were awarded and formally conferred during the annual Bankers Dinner held on 22nd November 2019. I wish to congratulate all those who received awards. Among them were 3 distinguished colleagues to whom were conferred the rank of Honorary Fellow in recognition of their outstanding contribution to the industry. Namely, these are Mr. Herman Kasekende, the CEO of Standard Chartered Bank Zambia and former CEO of Standard Chartered Bank Uganda, Mrs. Margaret Matovu, a retired banker and formerly working for Bank of Uganda. She served in various capacities in Bank Supervision Department of BOU for 33 years until her retirement as Director of Commercial Banking. And Mr. David Sebadao, retired UIBFS staff, was also recognized as a long-serving employee of the Institute. I'll talk briefly about the annual Bankers Sports Gala. The 20th edition of the Bankers Sports Gala was successfully held on 13th and 20th October 2019. The event attracted a total of 1,492 participants from across 32 financial institutions. DFCU Bank and Centenary Bank emerged overall winner and runner-up respectively. The Institute, in collaboration with Uganda Bankers Association, plans on enhancing the sports gala by, among others, expanding the range of activities and participation, as well as introducing support for a social cause. The Institute had planned to hold a sports gala as usual, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the gala will now, for 2020, will not run. It will next happen in 2021. We regret that DFC Bank will remain the reigning champions also for 2020, and Centenary as a runner-up. Let me now talk about the 19th East African Banking Council and East African Banking School. The East African Banking School is a regional knowledge forum and an invaluable source of cross-border industry experience. It is held annually and hosted on a rotational basis by the Banking Institutes for Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. In the 2019 edition of the school was hosted by the Tanzania Institute of Bankers, TIOB, at Ngurudodo Mountain Lodge and Resort in Arusha, Tanzania, between 12th and 16th August 2019, under the theme, The Role of Ethics in the Digital Age and Financial Services. The school attracted a total of 20 participants from Uganda, and its opening ceremony was graced by the Governor of Bank of Tanzania. Let me now talk a little bit about communication. A range of initiatives were undertaken in the course of 2019 to enhance the Institute's visibility. These include a monthly newsletter and quarterly financial services magazine featuring key developments in the industry, UIBFS participation in the 2019 National Council for Higher Education, and the organization of an exhibition at the Uma Showgrounds, Lugogo, in April 2019. I will now talk about regional and continental and global engagements of the Institute. The Institute maintains close collaboration with sister institutions in the region, the continent, and globally. The Institute is playing an active role in deliberations geared at establishing a regional East Africa banking certification program, as well as those of the Alliance of African Institute of Bankers, where it now holds the position of deputy chair. The 2019 Association of Institute of Bankers of Africa meeting was held in Kasane, Botswana on 1st November 2019, hosted by the Botswana Institute of Banking and Finance. The meeting focused on reinforcing the value proposition of banking institutes in Africa by way of promoting professionalism in the banking and financial services industry through knowledge, skills, and behavior. The Institute is also an active participant in the Global Banking Education Standards Board and the World Congress and Conference on Banking Institutes, a global knowledge forum that brings together perspectives from across the world on the forces shaping the future of the financial services sector. The 2019 edition of the conference was held in London on 16th and 17th September 2019 under the theme, Growth and Sustainability in an Age of Disruption. Let me now turn to administrative matters. You will learn as I draw close to the end of this rather lengthy presentation. In the course of 2019, 3 staff members resigned from the service of the Institute. These included Ms. Stella Nalumansi, who was Executive Assistant of the CEO, Ms. Hilda Katono, the Assistant Registrar, and Ms. Nana Nosolome, who was the Finance Officer. In the same period, one of our staff members retired from the service of the Institute. That was Mr. David Sebadao, who was the Training and Partnership Executive. Lastly, one staff member was terminated from the service of the Institute, namely Mr. Mark Alex Simwa, who was a Training Manager and Executive Director at the time. On a special note, I wish to inform the AGM that in March 2020, the Institute appointed a new CEO, Mrs. Gertie Masade, who replaced Mr. Anthony Mulindwa, whose contract had expired on April 30th. So, Mrs. Gertie Masade, maybe you may stand where there is a camera to see you, so that those online can see you. Okay, yes. So Mrs. Gertie Masade is the new CEO, and we ask that you all give her your support. I dare say that in times of change and disruption, it is important that she joins the industry with vast knowledge on communication, etc., and having served in the industry as well in the past. We believe that her appointment will be very crucial in promoting the Institute and its activities, especially among young people, many of whom constitute our membership in the Institute. At this point, I wish to extend my gratitude to the outgoing staff members for their dedication and service to the Institute, particularly and especially our former CEO, who is here with us, Mr. Mlindwa. Mr. Mlindwa, you may also see if people can see you. Thank you very much for your service. Let me talk briefly about the new strategic plan and the journey ahead for the Institute. During the period, the Institute continued to implement the new strategic plan 2018 to 2022, whose strategic pillars are as follows. 1, strengthening organizational effectiveness and visibility, enhancing stakeholder outreach, engagement and collaboration, improving relevance in the financial services industry, and finally, advancing ethics and professionalism in the financial services sector. Some of the key developments include the focused update and enhanced utilization of the e-learning platform and the development of the student management system that is currently under rollout. You will see that in these current times, even if educational institutes are still not open, our e-learning platform put us ahead of our time and will be very crucial in these times and going forward. Furthermore, and in line with the new strategic priorities, the Institute developed a revised membership structure in the second quarter of 2020, which was deliberated and approved by the board for presentation and consideration at this AGM. The new structure aims at advancing membership growth and acceleration of professionalism in the industry through aligning member knowledge, skills, and experience to career growth and a robust continuous professional development program, among other initiatives. Implementation of this strategy continues. In a special way, I would like now to express my and the board's gratitude. Once again, on behalf of the board, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the patron and all of you currently attending the Institute's 2020 first virtual and scientific AGM. And I look forward to your continued support and of the board and the Institute towards the achievement of our shared vision. Thank you all very much, and God bless you. Thank you. I would now like to invite Richard to take us through consideration of the audited accounts of the year. But before you come, Richard, I'll just give a quick preamble on this next item. So as I've mentioned, the next 2019 of the directors, and with your permission, I will take these reports as read. Before I propose the adoption of the accounts, I request KPF certified public accountants, the external auditors, to present their opinion on the accounts and invite questions thereafter. You're requested to raise your hand, and when chosen, to kindly state your name before posing your questions or comment. So if the KPF are here or they are online, I would like them to read the auditor's report, and then I would like to take over from here.
The chairman, we are online. Can I proceed?
So Richard is the chair of Audit and Risk Committee. He will confirm the performance assessment and propose a resolution for the adoption of the audited accounts once PKF have completed their role. I'll therefore let Richard take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone in attendance. I'd like to present the highlights of the accounts before we invite PKF to give us the details. This is the presentation of the statements, financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2019. The directors hereby submit the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2019, and here are the highlights from the statements. First, we confirm that the financial statements were prepared in accordance with international financial reporting standards. Then looking at the statement of financial position. In 2019, the Institute realized a total income of 2.15 billion shillings, representing a decline of 2% compared with the 2018 position. In absolute terms, the decline was Uganda shillings 33.3 million shillings. The total expenditure during the same period declined in absolute terms by 13.2 million shillings, a decline of 0.6% from the 2.21 billion shillings in 2018 to Uganda shillings 2.2 billion in 2019. Overall, the Institute posted a comprehensive deficit of Uganda shillings 119 million shillings. This being a further deterioration from the position in 2018, which was Uganda shillings, a deficit of Uganda shillings 34 million shillings. A brief explanation regarding when you look at the training revenues, they registered a growth of 16% from 1.12 billion shillings to 1.26 billion. Main reason for the deterioration in the performance is attributed to the missing revenue line that was in the 2018 report from the East African Banking School, which is not something that we can realize annually. And then the recognition of the revenues from membership, both corporate and individual, only increased marginally by 1.8% from Uganda shillings 634 million in 2018 to Uganda shillings 646 million in 2019. Revenues from other non-training activities registered a significant decline of 41%. From 421 million in 2018 to 247 million in 2019. Again, this is largely on account of the East African Banking School, which was a revenue line in the 2018 financials. Looking at the statement of financial position, the Institute's total assets registered a slight drop of 2% from 2.49 billion shillings in 2018 to Uganda shillings 2.44 billion in 2019, owing to the derecognition referred to above. The Institute, we are glad to report, had no significant non-current liabilities, and the current liabilities were sufficiently matched by the current assets as at the end of 2019. Looking at the cash flow, statement of cash flows, we confirm that the Institute closed the year with a positive cash balance of Uganda shillings 242 million shillings. At this point, I'd now like to request the external auditors, PKF, to present to the AGM the audit report. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope I can be heard.
I believe PKF is going to be online. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members, I hope I can be heard. I need a signal to be clear that I'm being heard. Can I proceed? Yes, Mr. Chairman and members, thank you so much for this opportunity to present the annual report, to the shareholders and the members of the annual general meeting. And our report is written in the booklet that we shared. Unfortunately, because of the times, we are not able to get the physical copy of the document that has been circulated. But following through the discussion by the chairman and the CEO and the Richard, we believe we are on the same page. We have audited the financial statements of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, which are set out as has been read by Richard, and we have followed through the presentation by the chairman. And in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services as at 31st December 2019, and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended are in accordance with international financial reporting standards and the Uganda Companies Act. Mr. Chairman and members, we are required by the standards that govern our ethics to declare our independence at all times to all fora. We want to declare to the annual general meeting that we were independent at our appointment. We have been independent throughout the time and still are independent in accordance with the ethics standards. We are also required to perform our audit in such a manner that we are able to provide assurance to the members of the annual general meeting of whether the financial statements represented true and fair view, and we have done exactly that. In addition, we're also required to read the other information that is given to you at the annual general meeting and to determine if that other information that has been given to you besides the financial statements is in consonance with the financial statements and our understanding of the institution as we audited it. And we are glad to state that we do not have anything significant to report in as far as that other information is concerned. The responsibilities of the directors whom we appoint and the council members is spelled out in our report, as well as the responsibility of ourselves to audit the financial statements of the institution. Mr. Chairman, we are also required to report by regulation of the Companies Act whether we have obtained all information which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the performance of the audit. We're also required to report to the members whether, in our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the company, and as far as it appears from the examination of our examination of those books, and whether the financial position, the statement of profit or loss, and the accumulated losses are in agreement with the books of account. And Mr. Chairman and members, we're glad to report that there are no exceptions in this report, and we signed our report on the 13th of July, 2020. I so submit, Mr. Chairman and members.
Thank you very much. Mr. Richard Ovla, I'd like you to confirm the assessment and propose the resolution to adopt the audited accounts for the period ending 31st December 2019. You want to read now? You can read it since it's not in
the resolution is therefore, the resolution therefore is that the audited accounts for the year ending 31st December 2019 be adopted. I call upon any member to second that resolution. Whether, yes, thank you very much, Mr. Ochom.
So thank you very much. The resolution, therefore, is that the audited accounts for year ending 2019 have been adopted. Thank you. I will now put that resolution to the meeting. I'd like you to follow the prompts on your devices to indicate your vote. Now, this is when it becomes very interesting, because now you have to use the gadgets to vote, right? So please go ahead. So I am hoping that you are all still okay with the data. The companies, so you say yes or no. Have you seen that? Then you submit, right? Then you submit. Then you will consider yourself part of the new revolution. Excellent. Thank you very much. So I would like to know how many votes. Okay, so with 49 out of 78, I declare the resolution carried. You may clap for this first, for yourselves, because you have just started a small revolution, right? The next item on the agenda for ordinary business is the appointment and re-election of directors. So Article 19 of the company's Articles of Association provides that the elected board members shall be subject to retirement at the third AGM of the Institute following the AGM at which the said board members were appointed. A retiring board member shall be eligible for re-election for another 3-year term once only. Directors eligible for re-election for a second term are stated in the notice of the meeting. I would like to take this opportunity to appraise the members of a recent development. One of our directors, Mr. Agoreyo, resigned as director of the Institute effective Wednesday, 15th June 2020. Mr. Agoreyo Johnson is therefore not offering himself for reappointment as indicated on your respective agenda. We will now proceed to cast the votes for the directors who are representing themselves for reappointment. The first one is Mr. Wilbur Owol, who was appointed to the board on June 17th, retires by rotation, and is, in accordance with Article 19 of the Articles of Association of the company, eligible for re-election. The second one is Mr. Paul Senyomo, who was appointed to the board in June 2017, retires by rotation, and is, in accordance with Article 17 of the Articles of Association of the company, eligible for re-election. And the third is Mr. Clement Dodo, who was appointed to the board in June 2017, retires by rotation, and is, in accordance with Article 19 of the Articles of Association of the company, eligible for re-election. All the above mentioned members appointed to the board have the necessary technical and business expertise that UIBFS requires. They have all expressed willingness to serve and hereby offer themselves for re-election. I will now put the matter to the meeting. Follow the prompts on your devices to indicate your vote. Let me start with the election of Mr. Wilbrod Owol. So now you reach out to your device, right? And you do just the way we did, yeah? So you click yes or no, then you go to next. Okay, for each of them, you click, then you go to next, click. Once you've done all the three, then you click submit. Okay, so can we have the results? Okay. With 49 out of 70 for all the three, out of 80, you have, let me start one by one. With those 49 votes for Mr. Wilbur Wall, this represents a simple majority. I declare the resolution carried. With 49 votes for Mr. Paul Senyomo, which represents a simple majority, I declare the resolution carried. And with 49 votes for Mr. Clement Dodo, which represents a simple majority, I declare the resolution carried. Obugalo. We shall now proceed to consider item 7 on the agenda. The Institute's membership is hereby informed and asked to take note of the retirement of the following outgoing directors, whose respective second terms end today, in accordance with the Article 19 of the company's Articles of Association. Directors to retire are stated in the notice of the meeting as follows. 1, Matthias Katamba, Board Chair and Representative of the banks, myself. The second one is Mr. Joram Kahenano, Deputy Chair and Representative of Fellows and Honorary Fellows. The third is Mr. Elliot Mwevia, Representative of the Central Bank. And the fourth is Ms. Veronica Namagembe, Representative of the Microfinance Deposit Taking Institutions. We will now proceed to consider item 8 and 9 of the agenda, the appointment and remuneration of the auditors. PKF Uganda were previously appointed as the external auditors of the company by the members during the annual general meeting held on 21st June 2019. Being satisfied with their level of service, the board would like to recommend that PKF be appointed as the company's external auditors for the year ending 31st December 2020, and that the directors be authorized to fix their remuneration for that period. The resolution, therefore, is that Mrs. PKF be reappointed the company's external auditors for the year ending 31st December 2020, and request the meeting that the directors be authorized to fix their remuneration. I will now ask a member to formally propose this resolution. You may raise your hand and propose a resolution, either online or present in the room today. This is where you raise your hand spontaneously in a position that is visible. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mulindwa. You may stand to proclaim that you propose the resolution. Someone might move a microphone near you so that those online can hear you. I would ask the photographer or somebody to make themselves useful at this point.
Yes, my name is Anthony Mulindwa. I propose the reappointment of PKF as auditors of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mulindwa. I will now ask another member to second the resolution. Thank you very much. The microphone is coming to you.
My name is Titre Abraham, AUIB, and the council member. I second the resolution.
Thank you very much, Abraham. I will now put the resolution to the meeting. Please follow the prompts on your devices to indicate your vote. Data pertaining, it is the same process. Click yes or no, and then submit. Thank you very much. 47 out of 79 voting for yes, 0 no's. With 47 votes, I declare the resolution carried. The next item on the agenda for ordinary business is the election of directors. This is when your campaign posters come out. Just kidding. Article 18B provides that board members shall be elected at the annual general meeting every 3 years from among the persons nominated by the constituents of the membership. Mr. Joram Kahenano, Mr. Elliot Mwevia, Ms. Veronica Namagembe, and I have this day retired from the board upon completion of a second and last term in office. The following individuals have been nominated by their constituents, vetted and deemed suitable for appointment as directors of the company by the board. Nominees for the position of representative of fellows and honorary fellows are as follows: Dr. Louis Kasekende and Mr. George Ochom. Nominees for the position of representative of the banks, Mr. Michael Karokora Mugabi and Mr. Samuel Kirubi. Nominee for the position of representative of microfinance deposit taking institutions, Mr. Shafi Nambobi. Nominee for the position of representative of the central bank, Ms. Charity Mugumya. Before I propose the election of the nominees, I invite you to turn to page 9 to 11 of the annual report and consider each nominee's abridged curriculum vitae, which I spent some time reading out to you. I'll now put the matter to the voting of the meeting. Follow the prompts of the devices to indicate your vote for the election of Dr. Louis Kasekende, Mr. George Ochom, Mr. Michael Mugabi, Mr. Samuel Kirubi, Mr. Shafi Nambobi, and Ms. Charity. It's the same process again. So you vote, then you click next. And then you submit your vote. So I would like, when the digital returning officer is ready, to let us know.
We are ready.
You ready? Okay.
We have 47 out of 80. Yes, 0
okay.
No.
Okay.
For Mr. Ochom George, we have 46 out of 80 voting for yes and 1 no. Should we do one by one?
Yes.
Then on number 3, we have Mr. Michael Karokora Mugabi, having 47 out of 80 voting for yes and 0 no. Number 4, we have Mr. Samuel Kirubi. We have 45 voting for yes and 1 no. On number 5, we had Mr. Shafik Namombi, 47 out of 80 voting for yes, 0 no. And lastly, we had Miss Charity Mugumi and 0 no.
Thank you very much. With 45, 46, 47, 45, 47, and 47, which represents a simple majority, I declare the resolution to elect Dr. Louis Kasekende, Mr. George Ochom, Mr. Michael Karokora Mugabi, Mr. Samuel Kirubi, Mr. Shafi Nambobi, and Ms. Charity Mugubia, respectively, I declare the resolution to elect them respectively as directors carried. The next item on the agenda for ordinary business is the election of council members. Article 31, number 2, provides for the approval of nominations as follows. The nominees to the council shall be subject to the approval of the general meeting, and once approved, may hold office for an indefinite number for an indefinite number of 3-year terms. Indefinite number of 3-year terms. Nominees for the position of representative of the banks are as follows. Mr. Fabian Kasi, Mr. Tinei Mawocha, Mr. Sanusi Lekan, and Ms. Anne Nakaonde. I now wish to take this opportunity to introduce to you the nominees in detail. I wish to refer you to each of their profiles in the annual report on pages 12 to 14 of the annual report. May I also remind you that I took time to go through them in detail in my address. All the above mentioned nominees to the company's council have been vetted by the board and approved as being fit and proper to discharge any responsibilities required of them in the capacity of council members. I will now put the matter to the meeting. Please follow the prompts on your devices to vote. So we go through the same process. You vote and then you go to next until you've completed all the voting, and then you go to submit. I think this is the new normal. The digital returning officer is very difficult to compromise. So I think you may then give us the results once you are ready.
For number 1, Mr. Fabian Kasi, we have 60 out of 81 voting for yes and 1 no. For number 2, we have Mr. Tinei Maocha, 59 votes out of 84 voting for yes and 2 no's. For number 3, we have Mr. Samuel Lekan, having 58 out of 84 voting for yes and 3 no. Number 4, we have Ms. Anne Nakaunde, voting for yes and 1 no.
Thank you very much. With 60 votes, 59 votes, 58 votes, and 60 votes for Mr. Fabian Kasi, Mr. Tinei Mawocha, Mr. Sanusi Lekan, and Ms. Anna Kaunde, respectively, which represent a simple majority, I declare the resolution carried. I now want to move to membership restructuring, a proposal that is being put before the AGM. The current membership structure was agreed to by members and is embedded in the company's articles of association under Article 4. In line with their governance responsibilities, the directors considered and approved a membership restructuring proposal at both education and membership committee and full board level in the committee meeting held on Thursday, 30th April 2020, and the board meeting held on 11th June 2020, respectively. I will now ask management to give us
And I'll start off by saying the mission of UIBF is to promote professionalism and inclusion through market-led training, research, and consultancy to providers and users of financial services. The primary route for UIBFS to achieve its membership and from whom it gets revenue to improve and deliver more programs. The current membership comprises of corporate institutions and individual members who include students and employees in the industry. Corporate membership for now is limited to supervised banking institutions, which may not necessarily cover all financial institutions. Active individual members, on the other hand, are only 870 compared to a universe of 12,617 staff in these institutions as at December 2019. Of these, only 100 make a significant impact. While training programs from the Institute are valued, you must have heard, we had about 2,700 people, which is supposed to be a professional body, is not attractive and it's not recognized in the industry and therefore not of career advantage. Are you able to project? I wanted to, you can see clearly that we've had some growth. Between 2013 and 2016, there was hardly any growth. Between 2017 to 2019, there was growth, and growth was mostly in the student and ordinary members. Students being those people that are taking the short skills, and ordinary members being those that have been at the institute and taken any course and are now possibly working. To note is that of the industry, honorary fellows 0.1%, associates 0.6%, ordinary members 3%, and student members 3%, a total of 6.9%. It should be noted that of all these, those that you would call professional bankers is only 0.9%, which is the associates, the honorary fellows, and the fellows. The problem, we have a limited level and ordinary level to the professional levels, simply because most of them who are ordinary members are just paid for by their banks to become ordinary members. But there is also no need, there is no advantage to move upwards. We have advanced within the levels. So you become an associate having completed a diploma. From there on, you wait, it's up to the honorary council, I don't know when, you have to wait forever to become a fellow, if at all. And then there is the lack of a continuous professional development program. So between there, one could have a professional development program that progresses them to the fellowship or to whatever level. So the proposed solution is to introduce advancement in professional qualification to motivate enrollment and technical knowledge and acquisition. We also want a structure that drives or compels continuous professional development, which includes soft skills and changing industry aspects. We want a structure that puts emphasis on ethics and integrity, or we are proposing a structure that promotes ethics and integrity, and also differentiates members according to their effort, commitment, and achievement of professional development, and hence competence. Lastly, we'd want a structure that guides the industry in hiring the right staff for the right job and level in the organization. So you have a a graph or a table that shows what we thought of being the proposed framework. We have qualifications, you have proficiency, you have career level, you've got membership designation and professional designation, and then the continuous professional development points proposed. I will not go so much into the detail of that. Okay, let me do it very quickly. We are saying, for instance, somebody starts off as a student, they won't need any continuous professional development points. As an affiliate being either at entry level or at any, as we start out the framework, we are saying everybody in the banking industry would be an affiliate, and they would be required in the course of the first year to do the basic banking course, and it will come free. Currently, the basic banking course costs 500,000, but if we get majority of the people becoming members, it will be part of the membership. This will help the institutions in terms of orienting somebody overall. I'll give you an example. When I joined the banking industry, I came with my marketing communications background and expertise. Now, at that point, one needs to know the entire banking sector. And so we are saying that when somebody gets in, they come in as affiliates and they understand the entire sector, at least to a certain level. They're introduced to it. The next level would be somebody we call an active learner, and they become an affiliate professional, graduating with a chartered banker, level 1. The next level is what we call a certificated professional. This person could probably supervisor, middle management. They are active learners, and they have postgraduate program, a master's in something. They are not totally raw, but they are not necessarily professional bankers, but they are appreciated as being certificated professionals. And then they have their 30 CPDs required. The next one is chartered banker level 2, somebody who is able, middle management. They are then associates, and they are, in terms of professional designation, we'll call them executive bankers. Remember, come and do chartered banker program and not necessarily become a member. So then they carry their professional designation. If they are, it's where you carry the CPDs. And then we have the chartered banker level 3, at which point we feel the proficiency is accomplished. This is EXCO, senior management, and here they are members, full members. And in terms of professional designation, they are chartered bankers. And they need to maintain their membership by doing 35 continuous professional development. Last one, plus advanced experience. They have authoritative proficiency. This is EXCO, MD, board of directors, and so on. And they are fellows. Here you have 35 continuous professional development points. The last one is the contribution to the industry. Now here you may not necessarily have a banking, chartered banker program qualification, but you've made significant contribution to the industry in some way or another. You may have it, you may not have it, you may have qualification or not. And there we say you distinguished because of the works you've done. It just shows you what we are moving from to where we are going. And also it goes on to show you under each what we mean by, for instance, graduate of chartered banker level 1. It goes on to show what topics or what skills or what knowledge you'll have achieved. But just to show you that while we had student, ordinary, and associate, we now have student, affiliate professional. Somebody now has started working on their chartered banker program, certificated professional, associate, member, and fellow. And then, of course, the honorary fellow. The change in CPD program. Previously, we had 2 to 3 in-person member forums and 1 banking school. And we did not necessarily have any administration or tracking of people attending these and attributing it to them. Now we are saying for content in the continuous professional development program, especially when we have majority of the industry, we'll have weekly to fortnightly online programs or webinars that are accessible to as many people as possible, and they will be developed with support of the different UBA committees or work streams. Then we shall have access to a depository or of online resources or from strategic partners. For instance, CSI, we have people like that who've got a lot of information. And so a member may take the opportunity to have membership with us and a discounted membership with partners. We shall have face-to-face forums, those will continue. The banking school will continue. And of course, recognize in-house trainings. Those will be taken into account when we are doing the CBT. In terms of tracking, we will have online login reports, who logged in when, online completion of assessment reports, who is who and where they have reached in advancement. We shall definitely launch the program once we've agreed, once this AGM agrees, and we shall publish graduates at different levels. In terms of benefits to the industry, it should inspire self-professional development at an affordable cost. Affiliate members will take the basic banking course, as I already told you, at a foundation level, which is equivalent to free staff orientation to a great extent at entry level. And then, of course, the CPD program will be free mostly to the institution. This is very important in times like this when we have COVID, for instance, and companies are distressed. In conclusion, the proposal focuses on adding value to individual membership as a start, as the institute and board and the board and the council reviews the necessity to expand the corporate membership, which was actually done. So we believe that the proposed structure and approach will add value and attract members, which will in turn help the institute realize its mandate of professionalizing the industry, as well as expand the revenue base for utilization in improving UIBFS infrastructure and service delivery. It will also improve the institute's brand and visibility and facilitate its pursuit for inclusion programs as well. It is our prayer that this AGM finds the proposal agreeable and approves it. Thank you.
So I thought there would be Obugalo for the CEO after making such a spirited delivery amidst the interruption with the power. So the membership restructuring proposal was sent to your respective emails and has been available on the company website for advanced review. You were given an opportunity to ask questions before the AGM, and the questions and answers, I would like to know if we have them. Do we? Do we have the questions and answers? Irrespective of the opportunity for you to ask questions and for us to give you the answers which we are ready to give, there was no question asked. Therefore, having had that opportunity as members to make the questions and for us to give you the responses, which clearly the questions you didn't ask. The resolution, therefore, is that the membership restructuring proposal be adopted. I will now ask a member to formally propose the resolution by a show of hands. Do you have the questions? The CEO has raised her own question and provided an answer that, just to fill that gap, since you all didn't ask, that what happens to the associates and the fellows before, right? Well, they maintain, the status quo is maintained for the previous associates and fellows. So I will now ask a member to formally propose the resolution by a show of hands, those who are in the room or online. So I'd ask someone to maybe the microphone straight through the middle row here. Yes. To propose the resolution.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Annette Nakaunde. I'd like to propose that we resolve to adopt the proposal.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Anne Nakaunde, the Managing Director of Finance Trust Bank. Thank you. Will another member now second the resolution? My friend of the microphone, don't get tired. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Chef Nambobi. I second the resolution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nambobi. That's Managing Director of Yuga Ford. I will now put the resolution to the meeting. We will go back to our devices. You will follow the prompts. So you will click yes or no, and then go on to submit. So our digital returning officer, okay. I hope some members didn't drop off last time when we had a power interruption. Some did, right? Okay. I'm sure.
3 more seconds. Okay. The membership restructuring proposal, we had 51 votes out of 74 voting for yes and 2 noes.
Okay. Thank you very much. With 51 votes and that sporadic clap by the CEO, I declare the resolution carried. The next item on the agenda for special business is the amendment to the UIBFS Memorandum and Articles of Association. The paper on the proposed amendments to the company's Memorandum and Articles of Association was sent to your respective emails and has been available on the company website for advanced review. Allow me to invite the company secretary to expound on each proposed amendment. The secretary will appear virtually.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. With respect to the amendments of the Memorandum and Articles of Association, we have 5 broad categories of amendments. The first amendments are the amendments that are arising out of the membership restructuring proposal. These are the ones that are setting out the changes to the membership requirements and the the requirements that somebody is supposed to comply with for the new membership structure. The second category are communications and the conduct of business. We are amending the Articles of Association to ensure that it provides for electronic communication and electronic conduct of business, as this is becoming the new normal in times like this. The third category is the conduct of AGM. We have increased the period within which an AGM needs to be held from 3 months to 6 months, as is provided by international standards and by the Companies Act of Uganda. Another thing that is going to change is the notice period. Previously, the Memorandum and Articles provided for a 14-day notice period. This has been increased to 21-day notice period in compliance with the Companies Act. In terms of elections, we have amended the articles such that elections are by a show of hands as opposed to secret ballot, because this is the most convenient method within which we can have elections. And especially because members that are presented to the board are usually nominees of constituents. Then we have the category of general amendments, which just refer to cross-references, alignments, and the layout of the articles of association. So basically, that is the gist of the amendments. I believe you've been given an opportunity to review the amendments in detail through the paper that was published. And I invite any questions that anyone might have at this point.
Thank you very much, Secretary. So you were given an opportunity to ask questions and make comments before the AGM, and the questions and answers, again, like the previous ones, we didn't receive. No questions, but if there are questions now, they can be asked. The company secretary is online. I would like you to bring the company secretary back on the screen. Thank you very much. So that as the questions are asked, let's have a microphone through the center here, so that the answers be provided by the secretary.
Thank you very much. Chair, my name is James Sonyuta, MD of Finca Uganda. Mine is regarding proposal for recognition of development partners, organizations of such like that are supporting the institute to be considered, obviously with the approval, subject to approval of the board for corporate membership.
Okay.
Okay.
That proposal, I need to be guided by the protocol. Secretary, let's hear from you. Very good proposal. Do we carry that proposal now in? Let's hear from you. Can you hear us, Secretary?
Yes, I can hear you. What we had proposed for corporate members is that any regulatory body established by an act of parliament of the Republic of Uganda, or any financial institution established by an act of parliament, or any supervised financial institution registered and carrying on business in Uganda. But if the members are agreeable, we could add an extra category of development partners.
Okay. Right? Of development partners and corporate organizations that are ascribed to the values of the banking profession, right? Okay. You can clean up that language, but you have a good start, right? Okay, so if the members are agreeable to that, do we? What we'll do is we'll propose the resolution with that one carried if the secretary will make the amendment in there. So I would like a member to propose with that amendment. Very difficult to see beyond the slide, so you can help by making your hand as straight as possible. Oh, thank you very much. The gentleman with the microphone. Straight here.
Yeah, I propose that the resolution be adopted. My name is Edgar Biama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edgar Biama, Managing Director of KCB Bank Uganda. Thank you. I will now ask another member to second the resolution. Yes.
My name is Richard Olaujia, Uganda Development Bank. I second the resolution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Ola from UDB. So, having had the proposal and the secondment, I would now like to vote in favor or against the amendment of the Memorandum and Articles of Association. We'll go through the same process. You proceed to your device, make your choice, and then submit. So our digital returning officer. I want to encourage members to use your device, please, actively. We need 75% of the members present at the AGM to make an amendment in the Articles of Association. So I implore all of you as much as possible to vote. So you go to the device and it's very simple. You will have two choices, yes, no. Click on your choice and then submit. So digital returning officer.
Yes. Out of 72%, out of 72 votes, we have 53 voting for yes and 1 voting for no.
Okay. It sounds like 75%.
Yes, please.
Right?
It was actually 76%.
Excellent. With 57, how many?
53%.
With 53 votes, representing 76% of the members present at this AGM, above the 75% as required by the company's Articles of Association, I declare the resolution carried. We shall now proceed to consider, thank you very much, thank you. We shall now proceed to consider item 14 of the agenda. I now invite the council president to address the meeting. The council president will also address us digitally. I was about to ask, I have not seen him in the room. So try to reach out to him on the phone. You'll be delighted to note that we are nearing the end of our function. So as your cups are being refilled, take this last opportunity to have a dash for the fruits. I think with virtual meetings like this one, the time you make up for the speed in the voting process, you sort of lose it in switching from virtual to physical because of the connection at the various members' sites. But I think net, we're still doing well. Okay. It's logging on. Okay. Good. In normal times, there would be a musical interlude. I was wondering whether these times call for total silence.
The president was on the 24-hour window, and then he kept trying.
Hello, I think I'm back online.
Excellent. You are welcome,
Yep.
Mr. President. It is your time now to make your remarks. And we would like you to activate your video so we can be able to see you.
Right. It is now activated.
Excellent. You are welcome. So we are now waiting to listen to you.
Great. Thank you very much. Apologies, I was offline in the middle of this CEO speech, and I understand there was a technical issue from the side of the host. The patron of the Institute, council and board members present, members of the Institute, fellow heads of financial institutions, all colleagues in the industry, and all the guests present at the AGM. I welcome you all to the 2020 Annual General Meeting of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, and in a special way thank our patron for gracing the occasion. This year we are celebrating our AGM during a period of exceptional circumstances created by the COVID pandemic. Away from COVID, I wish to share my thoughts on key developments that are affecting us as a whole and the financial institutions and the financial education system in particular, which require immediate attention. First and foremost, the need for wholesome financial inclusion. In the past, we have concentrated on improving access to financial services by all as a key determinant in financial inclusion. However, the current disruptions brought about by measures to curb spread of COVID have shown us that even with improved access to financial services, a sizable number of the population are still underserved. This points to a number of gaps, including relevance of available products, affordability of products, plus awareness of products. This calls for strategies by the supply side. This requires agility and versatility in terms of the training institute to empower both the supply and demand side with knowledge and skills to offer and utilize the given services. Widespread financial literacy will be very crucial in ensuring that the demand side, who are the potential customers of financial institutions, is savvy about prudently managing of money in order to actively take advantage of opportunities in business and also play a role in economic activity. The second issue is around the urgent need for technology utilization. The prevailing conditions call for urgent and large-scale embracing and utilization of technology amongst all the players in the sector. And in our specific case, by the education institutions and the students. With the inability to meet physically or access services physically, it is imperative that strategies are applied to enable learning continuity of all forms. We are proud to acknowledge the foresight of the Institute and its members in setting up a robust e-learning platform that now needs to be utilized to its full potential. We expect that the students and teachers will embrace it maximally. Aside from the e-learning platform, the need for the delivery of courses pertaining to new technological innovations is key in delivery of financial services, and this cannot be overemphasized. We need to quickly become experts in all matters, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and so on, cloud computing, analytics, to mention but a few. We acknowledge the Institute's progress in making this training available and urge them to make it a reality as soon as possible. The third issue is, with a rapidly changing environment, the need has never been greater for retooling and reskilling at the personal level. Borrowing from one of the recent webinars conducted by the Institute, we players underestimate the responsibility bestowed upon us as staff to ensure the growth and proper functioning of the financial sector. While institutions bear responsibility to train staff to deliver their objectives, the final responsibility for growth and capability lies at the personal level, where you determine what to learn and how to grow, and what would give you personal satisfaction and a competitive edge. When we do this, we're ensuring our personal security and sustainability as we remain relevant in all situations. I therefore urge all members of the Institute and employees in the industry to take proactive measures to reskill, retool themselves, and even at times you have to unlearn and relearn. In conclusion, I wish to reiterate that this is a time of volatility that we need to face with similar gusto if we are to realize the goals of the Institute, the organizations we represent, and ourselves as individuals. The future, as the saying goes, the future is in our hands. Let me take this opportunity to thank the council members who have served with me over the last few years as I hand over the mantle of council president, and also thank the board and management of the Institute. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for your support. My best wishes to the new council members as you steer the Institute forward. Lastly, I wish to thank our patron and indeed all of you for making time to attend the AGM, for your show of support to the Institute. I wish you good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you very much.
As chairman under your presidentship, as I'll be handing over the mantle today as well. It is now my honor to invite the patron to address the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. The Council President and the members of the Council, the Chairman and members of the Board, the outgoing and the incoming, the Chief Executive Officer and the management team of the Institute, senior management of the Bank of Uganda, distinguished members of the Institute, ladies and gentlemen. As a person who serves on the council as Deputy Council President, maybe I wouldn't be speaking after the President has spoken. But now I'm wearing another hat, and I want to bring you greetings from the Governor, Bank of Uganda, Professor Emmanuel Tumusiime Mutebire, who is the patron of the Institute, who is unable to attend this meeting due to other official engagements. I want to thank the Institute Council and the Board for inviting the Governor. I want to again thank the Council and the Board for organizing the 2020 Annual General Meeting despite the prevailing constraints occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. The conduct of the meeting today demonstrates the commitment of the Institute to corporate governance. It underscores the collaborative spirit in which the Institute was set up 25 years ago, and long may it continue. I thank the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer, Mrs. Goretti Masade, and your team for all the background preparations that have made this meeting a success. I welcome Mrs. Masade to the Institute family and wish you all the best. I'm sure that you take the Institute to the next level. I laud the Council and the Board for having appointed a lady to head this august institution. The 2020 annual general meeting has been convened at a time when the entire world is amidst the grip of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic that practically has shut off global supply chains and dampens demand. The impact of this pandemic has already been felt in the Ugandan economy, with the real GDP growth for the financial 2019/2020 being estimated at 3.1%, in contrast to an earlier projection of 5.5 to 6% at the start of the financial year. Going forward, the economy is expected to grow by 4.5% in this current financial year 2020-2021. Nevertheless, the lost productivity occasioned by supply chain disruptions and dampened demand will have knock-on effects in the medium term. The national lockdown still keeps 15 million learners from pre-primary to tertiary institutions confined to their homesteads, of which 314,548 are in higher learning institutions like the Institute. The implication is that for higher institutions of learning, there is need to tap into possibilities of open distance and electronic learning to ensure that disruptions to the academic life of students are minimized. I commend the Council, the Board, and the management brought about by the pandemic and ensured that the Institute remains operational. In so doing, you have safeguarded the employment of existing staff members and ensure that the financial sector will have a steady supply of professionally trained graduates in the future. I commend the Institute management who in a short time have managed to move and improve learning to add online including the apps. That is, to keep this project going, the Institute should build resilient and agile soft and hard skills to see it through. The financial sector has been affected by reduced volume of transactions, requires astute staff. The training of this staff is a great opportunity that the Institute should harness to expand its revenue streams and contribute to a vibrant economic system. With the appropriate preparations, the Institute graduates should be able to translate existing semi-developed products like Islamic banking and finance, digital financing into mainstream offerings capable of targeting the key economic drivers, the micro, the small, and the medium enterprises that employ 85% of Ugandans. I'm excited to learn that the Institute has partnered with both local and international partners to avail innovative trainings as a response to the pandemic. Trainings like leadership and crisis management, digital programs pitched at different levels of management, as well as soft skills such as emotional intelligence, coaching, mentoring, and leading and thriving through uncertainty. These soft skills build the necessary resilience in the human capital to surmount challenges encountered in the volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment in which we operate. Unlike other professions such as accounting, auditing, and procurement, the financial services industry has for a long time lacked a structured, practical-oriented training program. The gap has had detrimental effects on the productivity of the sector. However, through collaborations across the banking institutes in the East Africa Community region, this deficiency is about to be ameliorated. The EAC is in the process of establishing a common banking certification program, which will eventually be the regionally recognized qualification. I'm glad to know that the Institute Chartered Banker program is highly aligned to the EAC banking certification program and will provide an edge to its graduates towards the achievement of the regional qualification. I therefore implore the industry practitioners to widely enroll on the program to enable us achieve our desired standards. The proposal to restructure membership presented in this meeting is another initiative that will contribute to professionalization of the industry and sustainability of the institute. The introduction of a robust annual continuous development professional development CPD framework is in the right direction and commendable. Our employees must stand and appreciate the need the aims. As long as you remain true to your mission and generate solutions to the challenges that plague the financial sector, the central bank resource envelope. However, the ultimate measure of your success will be achieving autonomy with a budget that is fully funded from the Institute's internally generated revenues. With the value proposition presented in this meeting, I'm sure this sustainability is a milestone within reach. As I conclude, I thank the outgoing board members for the good job they have done during their tenure of office. I wish to congratulate the incoming board and council members and wish you a fruitful time. Office. For all that you've done for the Institute, and we'll call you and you come forward. This meritorium award meritorious award is going to be presented to Mr. Matthias Katamba in honor of your services as board chairman 2014 to 2020.
The institute wants one with a mask. Yes.
You have a map for me?
In honor of his service as board vice chairperson 2014-2020. I want to request a representative of the Bank of Uganda to come and pick it and take it to him. Yes, wait. This Emeritus Award is to be presented to Mr. Elliot Mwebia, FUIB, in honor of his service as a board member. This award is to be presented to Ms. Veronica Namagembe, FUIB, H Honorable, in honor of your service as a board member 2014-2020. This meritorious award is to be presented to Mr. Anthony Mulindwa, FUIB, in honor of your service as Chief Executive Officer 2016 to 2020.
In my last act as chairman, which I promise you will contain no bravado, will be that we proceed to item number 16 on the agenda, which is AOB. Neither I nor the secretary received any notice of AOB as is required prior to this meeting. Therefore, there will not be any other business. That concludes the business of the annual general meeting of the company for the year ended 31st December 2019. I thank you all for your attendance, and I now declare the meeting closed. I would like us to have a group photograph. How that photograph will be done, I will invite the CEO to guide us. Whether it will be done digitally and merged for those who are here, but I stand to be guided. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our dear board and council members and all the members for gracing this AGM. At this point, I'm going to request that we start off with the board, the outgoing board, and the new board members to join the patron as we take this picture. The entire board. Down here. You will cover the banner, so it's better to come here. The board. The outgoing board. Social distancing. So which means we might need both levels. We shall need both levels to kind of maintain 1 meter. With your mask.